Thanks, Jason here, Green Country Agroforestry. You know, you get to see a lot of our little side garden projects here where we're planting a new food forest or installing rainwater irrigation or maybe making compost, a whole bunch of different ways of manufacturing fertilizer, vermicomposting obviously with the worms, aquaculture, horticulture, you name it. But you often wonder, what in the world is Jason hiding from us? What is he keeping in the backyard garden? Well, today we're going to give you a tour of the backyard garden and show you what's going on back there, where I don't always let the camera just have a full view. Who am I kidding? You get to see it all the time. But today I'm going to show you what's actually there and talk about it. The idea behind this is by leaving our sunflowers out here mixed up with our corn. The sunflowers in the corn are going to grow kind of up in the same space. So they are, in a sense, competing for the same light and the same space, but they want to be together anyway because sunflowers attract wheelbugs. Wheelbugs are these very large assassin beetles. Scary. They have a big rostrum underneath their mouth parts that they use to drive through the carapace of their prey, which is other insects, so they can suck the juices right out of them. Yeah. Terrifying monsters these wheelbugs are. And so the grasshoppers obviously want to get away from them.
Right.
So since the wheelbugs are going to be up here where the corn and the tassels are that I don't want the grasshoppers chewing on, the grasshoppers run away from that. And when they run away from the wheelbugs, well, then those grasshoppers are just going to hop on down there where these fellows, well, ladies, are waiting for them. And they love eating bugs. Here in the shady back corner underneath the silver maple tree, irises are in bloom. Our violets are prospering here in the propagation beds. Our plantain is coming along nicely. Strawberries are, looks like they're making strawberries. The flowering quince on the fence line has started to lose its characteristic red blossoms. But now we have more red, or should I say pink, appearing in these red clovers here among the spiderwort, presenting its characteristic purple blooms. Hidden behind the leaves of the peach tree, we have new peaches forming. Is that 1, 2, 3? A bunch of peaches coming. This little tiny pocket pond is a place that I can't really afford to let the ducks discover. Well, as you can tell from the sound, I'm being watched at all times. Everyone has to make sure I'm doing a good job. This cattle panel trellis along the back here is going to be home for some Anasazi beans. They're just recently planted, so I don't expect to see them up just yet. Pardon the mess, we need to do some trimming in the hedgerow. Here is the, what is this, silver white garlic that we have planted in here. And we've taken the liberty of putting in some fennel, dill, and cosmos in the empty spots where we didn't get garlic. This is, of course, the first year growing this particular variety. So we'll take the ones that survive and grow more of those. Horseradish, alfalfa, of course. And this is an Allegheny chinkapin. Look at those little tiny flowers popping up. Let me get close so you can see them. It's got flowers on it. This is its second year here. Do you see the little tiny flower? I don't know if I can get the camera to focus on them properly. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. Do you see those little tiny flowers on the Allegheny chinkapin? Maybe I need to do something to get it to focus. Let me bring my hand up. All right, you see the flowers there? Okay, there's flowers on the Allegheny chinkapin. Second year. Of course, down there's some onion, and I think there's Oh, there's radishes and strawberries and other things buried all over the place there. Strawberries in bloom here. These are all-star Juneberry strawberries. So they're blooming now, but they're not gonna have fruit for a while later. Alfalfa's in bloom. Very pretty. But the bees, the regular honeybees, don't like these. Bumblebees will get into them, but the honeybees don't like them because of the shape of the flower. It doesn't agree with it. But other pollinators do. So this is a plant that does not really favor honeybees, but that's fine. The honeybees have locust blooms to be up in right now, so they don't need to worry about these. All right. So here we have that Allegheny chinkapin that I was just showing you a moment ago. And about 10 to 12 feet away is an air-layered pecan tree. This pecan tree is taken off of the limb end of a Wichita cultivar paper shell pecan. So it is genetically a Wichita cultivar paper shell pecan. All the way down to its roots. It has no graft. So it is 100% purely a Wichita cultivar pecan. It's kind of cool. But of course, this means that it didn't grow from a nut, and it doesn't have that initial taproot that an ordinary pecan tree would have. So we're going to take precautions to make sure it doesn't get too big. We're going to keep it pruned to shrub size, just like the chinkapin that it's next to. And in the process, we're going to find out something interesting. I don't know if there's any allelopathy between pecans and chinkapins. They are both nuts. But the chinkapin is more of a carbohydrate and not a fat and protein source like the pecans are. I've noticed that pecans and hazelnuts, they don't necessarily get along incredibly well together. So we're trying other things in association with pecans. The allelopathy is not as bad as black walnuts, but there is some there. Back behind me we've got, what is this? A Shanzi Li jujube tree. Second or third year here. I think this is its second year. Second year. And then behind that is a June gold plum, which is a dessert plum, kind of like a green gage, only it's going to mature rather orangish colored instead of remaining green like the dessert plums. Then behind me is a cocoa cultivar jujube, which is a smaller fruit than the Shanzi Li. The Shanzi Li is the largest jujube fruit there is. Cocoa has a little bit of a unique flavor. Tastes a bit like coconut, they say. Now we're in the shade of this Anjou pear. I think she's in her third year here. Probably next year we'll start to get pears out of her. And pardon my mess, but we've got a little bit of a gardening project in the back behind those spiderworts. You can see the hose mess there and the poultry netting. But we've installed a little patch of Helianthus tuberosa surrounded by cannas. Hopefully it'll look good. Of course, at the base of the pear tree we have a tangle of hairy vetch, some Egyptian walking onions, wild lettuces, some wild violets. Ooh, looks like a little Virginia creeper trying to work its way into the picture there. Well, we can probably pull that weed out. But it just tells us one thing. I need to get a vine of some sort on this tree. It's a little shady for a tomato, don't you think? So this particular grass that's growing back here is winter wheat, and it has survived grazing pressure from our khaki Campbell ducks. There's one right there, just hanging out. Oh, there's another one right over there. She's hiding in between the blades. And they'll make little paths through it, and they'll separate it out into little clumps and little islands, and they'll nibble on it a little bit whenever it's young and tender. And other than that, they will protect it from pests and predators. And here in about 30 to 45 days, we're going to move them out here into the corn patch. They'll clean up all of this, except for the corn, of course, and the sunflowers, which will be too high for them to nibble at. And then they'll proceed to weed and fertilize and protect the corn from pests while the wheat goes ahead and enters into its mature phase. We can harvest the wheat and then convert that space into another use later on in the later season. This is the Morus rubra that we get all of our cuttings from. And as you can see, it is already beginning to get loaded with berries here all over the place. Berries, 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 clusters of them everywhere you look, berries. It's such a productive tree. I love this one. Morus rubra, native mulberry. We'll probably have cuttings for sale next year. A few. And then year after that, a lot more. Just expanding the space needed to produce more of these guys. Alright guys, what do you think? That's the backyard garden. So it's not all trees and flowers. We have some other things going on here too. Hey, I hope you found the video informative or entertaining. If you did, you know what to do. I'll catch you next time. Until then, get out there and get growing.